This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 173, baby. Oh yeah. In today's episode I speak to the Hellraiser. Yes, he is back. And just for any new listeners that want to know why we call him the Hellraiser, it's because he brings hell to earth. He raises hell and brings it to earth. And in today's episode, you will find out another few reasons why he does that. And we speak about safety. Well, mainly preventing burglary. We all know what a burglar is, right? Someone that breaks into your house, so someone that enters illegally and steals things. Not the nicest people in the world. Not the type of person you probably want to go out for a beer with. But we hear about the Hellraiser's experience with burglars and dogs and much more. Anyway, remember all of the rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com, episode 173. And if you want an episode every day, rockandrollenglish.com/family, baby. I will speak to you all again at the end. Here is the conversation. Happy listening. Hellraiser, how are you today?
Good, Martin. How's things with you?
Well, you know me, Hellraiser. I am always fantastic. Always fantastic. Even more fantastic, I have finally tracked you down. So when you track someone down, you're finally able to contact them and speak to them, because it's not so easy talking to you, is it?
I just choose to not be available for you, really. I've got nothing to gain.
Well, that's really kind of you. Such a nice positive note to start the podcast on. Anyway, though, moving on, how do we usually start the show?
With a review.
Do you think we have a review?
You know, I don't think we have ever had a review with me. So I hope so. Have we?
Well, I don't think so, no. But things are about to change, my friend, because we do have a review. And what a review. It's from Ungatran. Sorry again, as always, for the pronunciation. And it says, "Hi, Martin and friends. I'm an Asian girl living in Australia. I'm a big fan of Rock and Roll English. You have a great sense of humour, Martin." No mention of your name there, Hellraiser. Just me.
Yet.
Let's keep reading. "I really enjoy listening to these podcasts. There are times I try not to burst into laughter in the office whilst working and listening to your podcasts at the same time. Most of the people in my office are native speakers and seem to like me, a shy, non-native speaker, because I make them laugh with my jokes. I have improved my sense of humour so much just because I learn from you and your friends, Martin." Oh, wow. You are so down to earth, which is some nice rock and roll vocabulary, like basically normal. Thanks, team, for your effort of making rock and roll English podcasts. So I think your name was sort of mentioned in the team, Hellraiser.
Yeah, part of the team.
Sure. There's no I in team, as we say.
There is me, though, isn't there?
There is me, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for that review, Anga, and sorry as always for the pronunciation. Anyway, so to today's show, do you know what we're talking about, Hellraiser?
I don't. It's going to be a surprise.
Yes, it is. So we're going to start with, as I mentioned before, when I was trying to track the Hellraiser down the other day, we had agreed to talk. Everything was going well. No, this was on Sunday, sorry, when I said, "Can you record today?" I will read the Hellraiser's message, which said, "No, I can't, because I'm having some burglar bars put into my house as someone was murdered close by." Obviously, sorry about the person that was murdered, but I'm interested in these burglar bars, Hellraiser. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So, security situation is outside my house is not great at the moment, obviously because of the murder. So,
yeah, that's not good, is it?
Murder's never good, I don't think.
No, I've never heard of a good one.
No, me neither. And when it's so close to your house, it's like doubly bad, isn't it? So the burglar bars are just things that go over the window so that people can't get into your house and murder you, which would be worse than somebody else getting murdered.
Yeah, I mean, someone getting murdered is obviously terrible, but the only worse thing than that, I suppose, is you getting murdered. But just to clarify, these bars are kind of like prison bars. Is that right?
Oh, very much. Yeah.
So when you just look out the window now, you're just looking at some nice bars. Can you even open the windows?
I don't need to. Why would you? No, you can still open them. They just people can't get in.
Sure.
So you're kind of trapped in your own home, but nobody can get in and harm you.
So you're kind of under house arrest.
Yeah, exactly. In my own personal prison that I have to pay rent for. So I pay rent for my own prison. It's great. Anyone of the listeners can come and visit whenever they want.
Well, speaking of that, because you've asked me many times, when are you going to come out and visit? I must say, after hearing all of this, my desire to come and visit you hasn't increased very much.
Hasn't increased from what? From 0? It was nothing before.
Well, now it's minus. It's like -1. Okay, it was 0. Now it's -1 from like 0 to 10.
Okay.
But it could be worse. Could have been -10. Anyway, so I thought we could focus on crime, basically, because it's a serious subject, and we always talk about the serious things on Rock and Roll English, and especially burglaries. Okay, because as we mentioned, no one likes crime. No one wants to be burgled. But apparently, someone is home in 28% of burglaries. Hellraiser, did you know that?
I didn't know that. It would make sense, though, wouldn't it? If you live there, to be there.
Yeah, but you imagine having a burglar in your house whilst you're there.
Yeah, it's not fun. I don't think that would be fun.
I don't think. I would hate to think of my reaction. I would just say, please take everything. Make yourself at home. Do you want a cup of tea? I'd want to make sure you're okay. I've got Netflix. You can watch a bit of that and then take the TV. As long as you don't kill me, do what you want.
Imagine even after all of that, they killed you anyway. How annoying would that be? Even after you'd made him a cup of tea.
What a bastard. After me making him a cup of tea. What would your reaction be, Hellraiser, having a burglar in your house?
What would my reaction be? Well, I'd be pissed off to begin with. Because I just paid for all these new burglar bars. So I'd have to go back to the guy I got those from to begin with.
Did they offer you like a money back guarantee of if a burglar comes and actually burgles you, you can get your money back for the bars?
I didn't sign any contracts.
The bloke in the shop will probably be the burglar.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't be a very happy situation to be burgled, I don't think, when you're in there. Maybe I just lock myself in the bathroom.
It's a good idea. I didn't think of that. The only room with a lock. That is good thinking.
Yeah.
Speaking of burglaries, though, something that's just popped into my mind, so something that's just come in there. I remember you and I were in a pub once, Hellraiser, and you just put your drinks on the table for a second. For some reason, you had 2 drinks, normal. And then someone just come walking along very casually, picked up your 2 drinks and continued walking.
Fuck, I remember that. Yeah. Daylight robbery.
Yeah, well, it was actually at night, but sure. And I remember you looking at me like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know if you were looking for help, but I certainly wasn't going to give you any help. And I pissed my pants laughing. So there's a nice term. When you laugh so much, you piss your pants. I didn't really, but almost. And I remember you running after this man and just very kindly saying, "Excuse me, sir, I think those were mine."
He did return them, though, didn't he? He did return them.
He did. He did. Fair play to him. So when you say fair play, it's like, well done. He did return them. And then you were back drinking drinks that he had probably spat in, but sure, whatever.
At least I got them back.
Exactly. Just in case anyone can hear as well, these dogs barking in the background there of the Hellraiser's audio. He also mentioned to me the other day a story which I'm quite keen on. Again, we were supposed to record, I think this was on the Monday, and then he texts me saying we can't because one of my dogs has run away. The dog we spoke about in one of the other podcasts, maybe, Flea, I think his name was.
Correct. Yes.
And what happened? Why did the dog run away? Did the dog hear about the murder or the burglary? Didn't like the burglar bars? What happened?
Just got spooked. I'm not sure. He sometimes if the gate is left open a bit too much, he'll just he can smell freedom, and then he just goes for it. So then I have to walk around the neighborhood in my pajamas with a whistle, calling out his name at 10 o'clock at night, which is a bit embarrassing, really.
Well, also, from what I understand, the sort of neighbourhood you live in doesn't seem to be the safest. So one way, well, I would imagine, it's not a good idea to bring attention to yourself. But if you're walking around at 10 o'clock at night in pyjamas and a whistle, I imagine you're bringing quite a lot of attention to yourself.
A bit too much, if anything. This weird white guy running around in the Ugandan neighborhood with a whistle and his pajamas on, shouting out "Flee, flee." It's not the best look for going undercover, that's for sure. Blending in.
I can imagine. Speaking of, though, like a way to hide yourself, apparently, if you want to avoid being burgled, it's a good idea not to have any trees or shrubs by your house. So shrubs are like bushes, like, let's say, little trees, because they can hide in there, Hellraiser. So make sure you get rid of any shrubs or trees.
Okay, I'll try. I mean, I'm surrounded by pretty much a forest, so I will try and cut them all down.
Well, you do that. When I saw this and I thought of like shrubs by your house, it immediately made me think of when we were younger. Anytime I was with the Hellraiser, we were walking along the street, just having a nice conversation after school maybe, and then there would be some shrubbery, like a bush or something like that. And the next thing you know, the Hellraiser has pushed me in and I'm on the floor in a bush. For no reason, for absolutely no reason.
Well, no, the reason is that it was fucking hilarious.
I must admit, it was quite funny. I preferred it when you did it to other people, though, because when I was on the floor and you fall in the bush, stuff goes in your mouth, like your hair gets messed up, your bag falls off.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
Yeah, you definitely look like a bit of an idiot. But yeah, so make sure you haven't got any shrubbery by your house, okay? So the next one, now this is interesting. It says again, if you want to avoid being burgled, only drink with people you trust. Now, what about you with that one, Hellraiser? Because I can imagine a Saturday night, you go out and then you come home and there are about 20 people that you've never met before in your house.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get carried away.
So carried away, you get too excited. Yeah, that happens quite a lot, doesn't it, with you, Hellraiser?
Well, excitable guy, I guess. But I'm at risk. I'm on the at-risk register on that side.
You sound very at risk from everything we've spoken about. You've got, a forest outside. Let's not talk about what happened outside your house anyway. You're going around with a whistle in your pajamas at 10 o'clock at night, and you're going out and bringing any Tom, Dick and Harry back to your house. So there's a stupid term that we use, any Tom, Dick and Harry, basically to say anyone. I don't know why Tom, Dick and Harry, I don't know why these names have been chosen, but they have.
No, I don't know either.
Just so people know, Dick is actually, obviously, most people know the
Penis.
Yeah, people know that one, but it can actually be a name in England.
Richard.
It's short for Richard, I believe. Yeah,
Richard.
To call them Dick. Bit strange, but we didn't make the rules.
We didn't. There's also a dessert called Spotted Dick, which is quite funny if you order it.
There is. Lots of laughs to be had with that one. Another one here on this tip, it was from like some government website, is listen to your mother. So because, mums always give great advice. So whatever your mum is telling you to do, Hellraiser, make sure you listen.
So wait, on a government website, the advice is listen to your mum.
I'm not sure if it was a government website, but it was a website.
You mean it was on the internet? So English taxpayers' money is going into that kind of advice. Listen to your mum.
I went on lots of websites, right, and got various different things. At one point, I was on a government website. I don't know if that one came from the government website, okay, but it was definitely from a website.
Okay,
and you can't get better than that. So now I've actually got some stories about people that have burgled or committed crimes. Some of the stupid ones.
Yeah.
And one here, apparently a burglar went into a jewellery shop. Notice the pronunciation there. Lots of people have difficulty with that word, jewellery. In a jewellery shop. And stole lots of things. And then 3 years later, he repented. So basically, he felt bad about it. And then went and returned everything he had stolen. What are your thoughts on that, Hellraiser?
What an idiot. He got away with it.
I tell you, if I were a burglar, that would be me. Because I would just for 3 years be thinking, what was I doing? And I wouldn't sleep for 3 years thinking, why did I do that? Fucking nightmare. And I would have to do it.
Yeah? Do you still feel guilty about running away from the restaurant and not paying?
You know what? I was just about to mention that. That still weighs on my mind. So when something weighs on your mind, it's a weight. I think most people are familiar with that story. There were some mitigating circumstances. I think that's what you say. So like special circumstances.
Excuses.
You can find it on... not really. But I do still feel bad about that. I felt bad about that even the night, thinking, should we go back the next day and pay? What do I do now? It's more hassle than it's worth, all of this crime game. So more hassle than it's worth. It's more difficult than the value you get from it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was just too much for me. I do have another one here, though, of a robber that broke into a house and ended up as a sex slave for 3 days. So he went in there trying to steal things, and then they just grabbed him and made him do sexual things for 3 days. I mean, that would be a dream for you, wouldn't it, Hellraiser?
Bonus. I mean, you broke in and you get to become a sex slave for 3 days. You can't get much better than that. That guy has peaked.
So he has peaked. He has reached the absolute top of life. And apparently they were feeding him Viagra. So they were just basically putting Viagra in his mouth. So he just constantly had a hard-on. So a hard-on is another word for erection.
He constantly had a hard-on because of what? I missed that. What?
Well, because they were feeding him Viagra. So they were just like putting it down his throat. Viagra, in fact, I think I remember you telling me you've tried Viagra before, Hellraiser, just for a laugh.
Yeah, that is true. But we're not talking about me, are we? We're talking about this other guy.
Any drug that you've got, Hellraiser's happy to give it a try. Just whatever you want, your Viagra. Yeah, what's this about? Let's give it a try.
Someone has to do it. Someone has to be the pioneer.
Exactly, the pioneer, the first one to do it. So we do have one more just before we go. And another robber, he went and burgled someone and they stole lots of things. And then the person he burgled was obviously an attractive woman. And after he ran away with all of the goods, he went back and asked her out on a date and said, do you want to come out with me?
Wow, that's bold.
That is bold. So that's ballsy, let's say. It takes balls to do it. Yeah, I mean, she refused, apparently, and then she actually called the police and he got arrested. But I kind of feel sorry for the guy because he obviously isn't the best with women. And I've been in that situation, okay? I didn't go as far as robbing someone and then asking them to go on a date, but more or less.
Yeah? Go on. I'm interested in this one.
I could bore you to death with the stories of getting turned down. So when you get turned down, it's when you say to someone, do you want to do this? And they say, not really.
Rejection.
Rejection, yeah. Rejection. I had a long time of rejection.
Used to be your middle name, didn't it?
Martin Rejection Johnston, but with a T at the end. So as long as you could spell the name right, I was happy.
Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, we've come to the end of our crime podcast, Hellraiser. I think all that is left to say is stay safe, my friend. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other.
Yeah, safety first and all that. I actually, in my research for the podcast, found something that said safety first, people second. Okay?
And then safety last as well, I imagine.
Well, of course. So you've taken the first step with your burglar bars.
Yep.
Good luck to you.
Thanks. I just got to cut down on running around the neighbourhood in my pyjamas at night with a whistle. Maybe I'll just lose the whistle. Pyjamas are fine.
I don't think the whistle helps. I really don't.
Doesn't help.
That definitely doesn't help. Maybe if you speak to your mum, she will also tell you doesn't help.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell her. I'll just worry her.
Good thinking. Don't want to worry your mum. Anyway, a pleasure as always. Finally being able to track you down and talk to you, Hellraiser.
It's been amazing. Thanks.
Also for me. See you soon.
Catch you soon, man. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was me and the Hellraiser speaking about burglaries, crime, and how to stay safe. So let's have a look at some of that rock and roll vocabulary. At the beginning, I said that I finally managed to track the Hellraiser down. So when you track someone down, it's when you're looking for them for a long time. They're not easy to get hold of, but finally you do. Because as we mentioned, there were lots of problems to get hold of the Hellraiser. The burglar bars, his dog going missing. And by the way, if you want to find out what happened to his dog, then go to www.rockandrollenglish.com/family because we talk about it in some of the Rock and Roll English family episodes this week. We also had the term from the review, you're so down to earth. So a down to earth person is a normal person, let's say, someone that doesn't think they are better than someone else because we are all equal people, power to the people and all that kind of thing. We had the term, it just popped into my mind. So if something pops into your mind, it just jumps in there. When I remembered that story about someone stealing the Hellraiser's drinks, and I said, I pissed my pants. So if you piss your pants, you laugh a lot. You don't necessarily need to actually urinate in your pants. That's an option, but you can say that without doing it. When we were talking about the drinks again, the person that stole them, we said he did return the drinks. Fair play to him. So if you say fair play to someone, you say, well, you've got to give the person some respect. He did give the drinks back. Fair play. Well done. Good on you. We had the term shrubs as well when we were talking about how to avoid burglars coming to your house. Don't have any shrubs near your house. Basically, bushes. The Hellraiser said he sometimes gets carried away when drinking. So if you get carried away, you get overexcited. Then we had a bit of a crazy term when I said that you bring any Tom, Dick and Harry back to your house. So if you want to say, any crazy person, you can use these names. Tom, Dick and Harry. Tom, Dick and Harry. Why we have chosen those names, I don't know, but that's what we say. We had the term repented when we were talking about the burglar that repented, that felt bad. He regretted it, basically, and then he returned everything he stole. I said the time I went away from the restaurant without paying still weighs on my mind. And you can find out more about that in my book, which is available on Amazon, actually. And talking about the time I went away from the restaurant without paying, I said that there were mitigating circumstances. So some circumstances that make it sound not as bad. There were reasons why that happened, okay? I'm innocent, okay? I am innocent. Then we were talking about crime, and I said it's more hassle than it's worth. So you can just learn this as a chunk, this phrase. It's more difficult. There's too many things to it. It doesn't have enough value. So I fully suggest you think of a different career away from crime. Then the guy that was burglaring someone and then got taken as a sex slave, the Hellraiser said that guy has peaked. He has reached the top. We had hard-on as well, which is another word for erection. Then the Hellraiser told us that he is a pioneer. So a pioneer, the first one to do something that sets the standards for everyone else by taking Viagra. So thank you for that, Hellraiser. Then we were talking about the guy that went back and asked someone on a date, and the Hellraiser said, oh, that's bold. So that's ballsy, as we described. So it takes a lot of balls to do that. You need a lot of courage. Then we had the term turn down. Well, I said I got turned down because it's in the kind of passive voice, because I received the action of getting rejected. And we also had the term break in, which I mentioned at the beginning. When you enter someone's house or car illegally, you break in. Anyway, remember, all of this rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. Go there, find it, use it, have fun, baby. I will see you all again next week, but in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.